Shmata. Shmata.
Oh, easy.
Shmata for me.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Do you want this? It's fine.
Thanks, Charlie. Hook me up.
Sorry.
We need the coaster. So.
Oh, that was good. We didn't even need to do that. Thank you, Mr. Bridge. Very nice. Come on in, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Roberta, excellence. She knows her stuff. Welcome, everyone. Come on in, find a seat, grab a siddur, a prayer book on your way in. Neil is there to help you out.
The Yiddish word for this moment is schmoozing. Schmoozing. If you would stop schmoozing so the service can begin, that would be appreciated. But when the service is over, please continue.
Schmooze time for everyone. So we'll start this evening just welcoming everyone as they get comfortable on page 10 at the top of the page with the words of Hine Matov. They just say how good and pleasant it is to be here together as brothers and sisters, as family and friends. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. So for those of you who are with us every week, if you ever notice me looking at my phone, it's because I have some wonderful folks who like to watch from home who have my cell, who tell me when things are wrong. So for anyone who's watching right now or for our staff, the live stream is not quite working. They can hear us but not see us, and we look good tonight. So if you wouldn't mind, and thank you, Harold, for letting us know. So maybe we'll do one more sort of opening song just to get us in the mood while they fix that. All right, my friends, you know this is one of my favorites. It's not always one of yours, but I'm going to encourage you to do it and to sing along because there's a fun part in the middle where everyone gets to go, yai, lie, 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 and everyone loves that. So I'll point to you when it's your part. Even if you don't love that, you'll learn to love it. So the song is Yedid Nefesh, and it's on page 10. Yedid nefesh av harachaman, Yedid nefesh av harachaman, Meshochav dacha el retzonacha, Meshochav dacha, ya lai 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 lai, el retzonacha, beautiful, Yarut avdecha. Ya la 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 el mul hadracha Yedid nefesh av harachaman Yedid nefesh av harachaman meshochav dacha el retzonacha So I often say when we come together on Friday night for our Kabbalat Shabbat services that I know that people come to services for very different reasons. And tonight is one of those nights where we have people who are coming here for a lot of different reasons. Many of those are simchas. And so we are going to spread some of those simchas throughout our service this evening, so you'll be able to experience the joy all the way throughout. The first one, though, is in honor of a simcha that is officially happening tomorrow morning because it's Reuven's bar mitzvah, not even sitting in the front row. Oh, he's like trying to say, no one look at me now. So it's Reuven's bar mitzvah, so we're very excited to be able to call him to the bima tomorrow. And so we are going to invite up Betty and Max Bridge to help us do the candle lighting and kiddush in his honor. Come on up. And while Mrs. Bridge was not Reuven's tutor, she tutored, I bet, a lot of people who are in this congregation tonight and many of our scholars who have become B'nai Mitzvah over the years. So our candle blessing can be found on page 2. And Max, if you want to do it, it's a little bit funny. It's more like a lightsaber. I'm going to give it to you. One sec. There you go. Okay. All right, so you just press the button. Yes. Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu
v'shabbat kol be'ahava u'bratzon.
No, you're in the wrong
It's
place.
okay. We're about to get to that one though. So if you want to light them, and we'll just move right on because y'all are ready.
You got me started.
Yes, do the whole shebang. Perfect. All right. So now you were already on a roll. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Right here.
Baruch atah Adonai.
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, be'ahava u'vratzon, hinchilanu. Zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehillah l'mikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol amim, v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'vratzon hinchatanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. And while we're at it, let's do Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Beautiful. Would anyone like some challah? It's a whole challah just for you.
Yep.
So each time we celebrate Shabbat together, we feel that the angels are coming into our midst, helping make this a special time. And this is a song that's often sung at the Shabbat table, but we sing it here tonight. The words are on page 24. We welcome in the Shabbat angels with Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem LeShalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Elohim Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zeidchem LeShalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we join each other and we call each other to worship on page 28. And I ask you to please rise for the words of the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. On the bottom of 31, we read together in the English, "This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim." On page 32, everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and on your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. And on page 34, we join in words of Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed. Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha ובלכתך בדרך, ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. The words that we just read are words of love. And we know actually that, I'm giving you another break. Sorry, Rabbi Michael, before services start, our dog ran away and he chased down after her for like 3 miles. So I was like, you can sit down and cool off just for a second or two. And it was a lot of running. So just before and just after our Shema prayer, we have prayers that tell us all about love. Because even though in Judaism we don't always talk about how important love is to us and the stories of our ancestors and the teachings of how God feels about us, we know that God's love and love for humanity is such an important part of the way we live. And tonight we get to celebrate a lot of love. So first, we're going to start with our anniversary. You've already seen one of our anniversary members. So if I can invite Sharon and Art to come on up. Where I lost you. Now, did you plan to have your grandson's bar mitzvah on the same time as your wedding anniversary?
59 years ago.
59, that's you, amazing that you knew in advance that was going to happen. So is this 59 years or 60 years?
59.
59 years, amazing.
Someone told you wrong, probably.
No one told me wrong, but it just means you're going to have to come back next year again and the year after that. Now, before I give you this blessing, it is sort of our rule here at Temple Israel that when we bless you on an anniversary, we have to ask, how'd you do it? Because we have a wedding couple coming up later, and we need to tell them, how do you make it to 59 years?
I'll let you answer.
Good, that's actually the correct answer. That happens every time.
I don't know.
Well, I am thrilled that whatever magic it is that has left you for so long, and we are so pleased to be able to have you in our midst. So come, if Rabbi Shuk was here, Rabbi Shuk likes to stand with wedding couples, and he says, now stand close like you love each other. So you pretend I'm Rabbi Shuk. So I say to you, may God, who's blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless the two of you who are here today with gratitude for all the blessings that your years together have afforded you. May God protect you. May you continue to enjoy God's blessings, witnessing your descendants, occupying yourselves with Judaism, with good life. Grant this couple benediction and success in all their endeavors. They've been privileged to build a Jewish home filled with love and harmony, peace and partnership. They're blessed with children and grandchildren, growing up in health and happiness, loving Torah, performing acts of loving kindness. And they're here today in gratitude for all the kindness which God has bestowed upon them. May God continue to watch over them and protect them from any sorrow and distress. May they enjoy good health together in all their years. Now, it is actually a funny thing about weddings, and Julie and Andy may find this out soon, that at weddings you are not supposed to say a shehechianu, because a shehechianu is for something that really only happens once. and I'm sorry, that happens all the time, right? So if it's just a one-time thing, you're not going to do it then. But you get to have an anniversary every single year. So we're going to offer you this Shehechianu, and I hope that you'll all join with me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Mazel tov, and may you enjoy many, many anniversaries and happy ones for years to come. Of course.
Okay.
And we'll continue now.
Are you ready?
I need to be ready. We'll continue now with the words of Mi Chamocha, which can be found on page 40. Mi Chamocha Vaylim Adonai Mi Kamocha Nedar B'Kodesh Norati Lot Osei Feleh Norati Lot Osei Feleh Mi Chamocha Vaylim Adonai Mi Kamocha Nedar B'Kodesh. After we sing the words of Mi Chamocha, thanking God for having given us freedom, we follow it with the words of Hashkiveinu on page 42, reminding us that we need God's protection wherever it is that freedom may take us. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. And we rise together on page 46 as we join in words of tefillah. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agita ilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imot, U'mevii Geula livnei v'neihem, L'ma'an Shamo ba'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia. מחכה חיים וחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומיתו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלם. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated. So earlier this week, Rabbi Michael and I had the opportunity to join with Rabbi Shook and go to the mikveh for a very special occasion where we officially welcomed Rochelle into the Jewish people. And I have to just share what Rabbi Shook said. Then he was like, wait, Rochelle's not Jewish? And we said, in fact, she is, or at least she officially is now. But we like to really welcome her into the congregation formally. So, Ms. Rochelle, if we can ask you to come on up. So when we came together at the mikveh, we had the opportunity to all hear Rochelle's story, and part of the thing that's so remarkable about you and about your story is that you've been a part of this community now for 3 years, and you have been studying and you've been attending services, but one of the things you found in your journey was that actually you were Jewish all along, and not just in a spiritual way, but actually 23andMe proved it, that actually Rochelle has been Jewish, and she even found a siddur that belonged to her great-grandmother that makes us think that, in fact, the Judaism goes deep in this amazing woman. But as you shared with us, and as we felt as well, even if you hadn't been proven correct by genetics, we've always known that you were part of us. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and these are the questions that you already answered for us at the mikveh, but we're going to do it in front of everyone so they can hear it again. Rochelle. Okay. Rabbi Michael gave you the big one. He has confidence in you. Do you choose to enter the eternal covenant between God and the people Israel and to become a Jew of your own free will?
Yes, I do.
Do you accept Judaism to the exclusion of all other religious faiths and practices?
Yes, I do.
Do you pledge your loyalty to Judaism and to the Jewish people under all circumstances?
Yes, I do.
Do you promise to establish a Jewish home to participate actively in the life of the synagogue and of the Jewish community?
Yes, I do.
Do you commit yourself to the pursuit of Torah and Jewish knowledge? So standing here, we're going to ask if everyone will please rise. Take that back. Take it back. Okay. All right. Is it really heavy? Is it ridiculously heavy? Okay, so as you hold it. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha.
May God's light shine upon you and guide you as you go on your way.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's countenance be lifted over you. May you always be granted with wholeness and peace. Mazel tov. We are so happy for you, but even more for us. Mazel tov. Oh, Rochelle, we're going to give you this. Wait, Rochelle, we're going to give you this too. So while Rochelle's returning to her seat, I want to just point out one more thing. You may notice that she's sitting here with our friends Ella and Maya. And that's because the very first day that Rochelle walked into services, Ella said, "You come and sit by me, and I'll show you what to do." And so the charge we gave to Rochelle was that we hope that in the years to come, that she will become an Ella and a Maya. And that when people walk into this synagogue not knowing exactly what to do or who to sit by, that she will be that person for them. But I also want to encourage each of you that you can also be an Ella and a Maya, because there's nothing that makes people feel truly more welcome than having someone say, come sit by me and you'll never be alone. And that's what makes this an amazing people and what makes us so lucky to be able to have you as part of our community. Now I'm getting emotional, so we're going to have to go to another prayer. Let's turn now. Let's do, sorry, I lost my place. If you'll turn to page 60, at this time when there's so much going on in the state of Israel, and we even have our friend Nathan, who just came back from Israel for the Maccabi games. We know that this is a time. Oh, and Julie also, did you just get back? Amazing. So to be able to travel to the land of Israel, especially at a time when they are going through so much, just reminds us of how much we need to be able to continue to stand in solidarity as much as possible with them. So on page 60, we'll pray for peace as we sing the words of Shalom Rav, praying for the peace in Israel and for all of us here. Sorry, it's here. Sorry, Shalom Rav is hiding from us. Here we go. There you go.
Peace, peace, peace.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. Ki ata melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol leit uv'chosha b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. So we'll turn now all the way forward in our Sidurim to page 253. And it's at this point in our service that we always take a brief pause from the liturgy and we offer prayers for healing. So if there is someone who you're thinking of at this time who could use healing prayers and who would appreciate knowing that their names were shared here, I would invite you to share them at this time. Thank you. We're thinking tonight of Arlene Alper, and Glenn Figgis and Harold Garber, of Drew Patchen and Elliot Schur, of Lisi Weinstein and Ellen Weiss, and of all those names that it is just a little too hard to say. For them and for us, we sing on page 253 the words of the Mishaberach. Mishaberach of Sheberach imotenu mekol bracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. So this week in our Torah, we've been working our way through the book of Deuteronomy. And Deuteronomy, in a lot of ways, is really kind of just a retelling of everything that's already happened. Because Moses and the children of Israel are there, and they are waiting to get into the promised land. And Moses is trying to remind them of all the things that they've already learned so that when they get into the promised land, they know what to do. In some Torah portions, like this week, it almost feels like Moses is a little bit scatterbrained because all of the teachings that he's sharing, they're kind of all over the place and they're not really connected to each other. So he talks for a while about keeping kosher, and then he does some teachings about Jewish ways of mourning, and then he talks about really sort of all sorts of disparate things. Reuven tomorrow is going to talk a little bit about what Moses says about how you deal with people who pray and think differently than you. But the section of this Torah portion that has always struck me the most are two lines that are almost back to back in the portion. First, Moses is telling the people that when they get into the land, that God says there will be no needy people in this land. That when they get to the land of Israel, that everyone there will have everything they could possibly need. And then a few lines later, he says, and when you get to the land and there's all these needy people there, here's what you have to do for them. And it really doesn't make sense. It seems like either whoever edited the Torah somehow didn't get it quite right. They forgot that those two things totally conflicted. Or maybe that they're in there because God was giving us some sort of an ideal to strive for. There shall never be needy in your land, but we know realistically speaking, there would be. We're not entirely sure how these two lines ended up in the book of Deuteronomy so close to each other, or what really they could possibly mean. What we do know, though, is there are needy people in the land, just as there are needy people in our land and all around the world. And so in this portion, they go on and they give many, many different examples of how we should help people who are in need. It specifies the way that we should take care of widows and orphans and the Levites, who are essentially people who are helping to take care of the community but can't support themselves, as an example. It tells all about how we should tithe and give certain amounts of the money that we bring in to help people in need. It talks about the way that every few years there should basically be a reset of everything economically. It is an economist's worst nightmare, but it's a beautiful utopian idea where everyone starts from scratch every few years. They give us all of these amazing teachings that we as Jews are supposed to be following, and I'm not going to ask for a raising of hands because my guess is that none of us do. It doesn't mean that we aren't charitable individuals. Many of us are. Many of us give philanthropically. We find different ways that we help people in need, but we really don't do it like the Torah says that we should. Maybe it's because it's just too hard. Maybe it's because the teachings are too specific, and the minute that they say, oh, you should tithe or you should give a percentage of their crops, and we're like, oh, we're not farmers. We don't need to worry about that. But we also know that throughout Jewish history, there were lots of other teachings about how we should give to the poor, about how we should charitably give. The most famous one is from Maimonides, who's a medieval scholar, and he created this idea of a ladder of tzedakah, of different ways that we should be able to give to those in need. And he talked about sort of like the lowest rung. There's 10 rungs on it. The lowest rung would be giving begrudgingly, only giving a small amount, giving face to face so that the person knows who they're getting it from, all the way to the very top one, which is that it's given completely anonymously and you're truly helping people out. But most of us still, when we give, we are not looking at that rung. And it concerns me, even when I think about our own Jewish community, our own synagogue community, that with each generation, unfortunately, it seems like philanthropy and giving gets less and less. That so many of our grandparents or our great-grandparents' generation, they knew what it meant to support people in need. They knew what it meant to support a community. But as each generation goes on, sometimes it feels, and I'm saying this even about myself and my own generation, that we have our own priorities, and it's not necessarily taking care of others in need. But I have good news for you, which is that I think the next generation, some of whom are here tonight, may actually get it right. Now I have to start with a story. So last night, I was having dinner with a friend who is here tonight. I will not call her out, but she is younger and cooler and smarter than me. And we were talking with our children about someone called Mr. Beast. And she said, "Who is that?" And so we have a little bet going about how many of you know who Mr. Beast is. Yes, Drew in the back. All right. And Noah. Okay. Yes, Mia knows. Perfect. All right. So our 20-somethings and our teens, they know it. But the rest of you don't. All right, I've never been so delighted to be proven wrong. So let me tell you about who Mr. Beast is. I wish that wasn't his name because it's so ridiculous. I know, that's not his real name. Mr. Beast is a guy whose name is Jimmy Donaldson, and he's just a baby. He was born in like 1998. So he's in his 20s, and he is a YouTuber. And if you're anything like me, the minute you hear the phrase, he is a YouTuber, you're like, oh, a YouTuber. But this person is actually kind of important. So what this guy did, Mr. Beast, is he's a YouTuber and he started making videos. And most of the videos at first, they were like a little bit dumb. You know, they were basically challenges, like, you know, challenging his friends that they would all have to eat the same color food for one full week. So this guy would have to eat red food, this guy would have to eat green food, stuff that sort of silly kids do. But he became more and more popular. And at one point, early on in 2017, he got his first YouTube sponsorship for $10,000. And for whatever reason, he turned to the sponsor and said, "The only way that I will accept this money is if I can give it away to someone in need." And he did. And it started this amazing chain reaction until he's created something. I had to write this down because I keep saying it wrong. Philanthrotainment. It's philanthropy and entertainment all rolled into one, which sounds like a ridiculous idea. But what this person has done is remarkable. He's gone around and he has gone to Uber drivers and pizza delivery guys and just given them $1,000 for no reason. He goes to the APA and he gets every single pet and adopts them and then finds families for them and then gives them all, $1,000 gift certificates to Petco. He finds different ways to be able to help people or to help animals in need. He's raised millions and millions to plant trees all throughout America to help, and he's got all of these different environmental causes. This one person has raised millions and millions and millions of dollars, all for charity. Now, some of the work he's done, people have criticized. For instance, one of his shticks was he found 1,000 people who needed cataract surgery and gave it to them, which on the one hand is lovely, but he didn't really talk about what is wrong with our healthcare system, that we have 1,000 people who need cataract surgery and have to have some random guy from YouTube be able to give it to them. So people criticized him for that. They've also criticized him because he is really just doing what feels good. And when people ask him about it, he says, well, yes, I don't think that there is a reason that if I am giving philanthropically, I should not feel good. He said giving shouldn't have to be the kind of thing that is staid or that has firm rules. It should just be about finding ways to make this world a better place. He said charity doesn't need to be low-key, self-effacing, and dignified. It can actually be fun. And I wonder if maybe that's what the rest of us are missing out on. If something has happened in my generation and maybe some others as well, where we have forgotten that we should be giving charity, maybe not just the way that it says to in the Torah or the way that Maimonides says to, but that we should be giving because there are people in need and our actions can inspire others. That we can give in ways that actually people enjoy the act of giving, and that if we do that, even if it seems a little bit silly, that we could be the ones to make the world a better place. it seems that maybe this next generation has figured it out in ways that we have not. And if they're the ones who learn how to give, how to make sure that generosity is something that is carried to all the people who need it, then somehow, even if they didn't learn it from their rabbis or from their Jewish values, they may have done something right. There's a midrash to Psalm 118 that says, when you are asked in the world to come, what was your work? If you answer, well, I used to feed the hungry, that you will be told, this is God's gate. You who fed the hungry, you who cared for others, may enter. So may it be that all of us are inspired, whether it's by Mr. Beast or by the words in the Torah, to find some way to be able to give and be the ones who say, we are the ones who made a difference. And if you watch Mr. Beast, don't forget to click like and subscribe. Shabbat Shalom. So, I told you we have one more blessing, right? So, Andy and Julia, come on up. Now, I didn't ask, you guys are of that generation that you should know Mr. Beast, do you? Oh, okay, good. All right.
He's just playing it cool.
Yeah.
So we know it.
You're young, you're hip.
Welcome back.
Would you like?
Oh, yeah.
To the mic.
All the anticipation, and I'm somewhat out of words. All right. Do you have your read?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to bring up Times Square. Oh, you were? Are we doing that?
Okay, before we actually do this, we have to tell you. You know, there's a rule at weddings, not a rule, but it's like a best practice for rabbis that you're not supposed to share the embarrassing stories. This isn't their wedding. This is just a wedding blessing.
Just a bracha. So.
And we have so many stories about Andy that we want to share, but we won't. You can invite Rabbi Michael if they're like a bachelor party. It's a super fun bachelor party.
That's all right. Yeah. That's all right. We're incredibly excited about this moment right now. Of course, we're very excited about your future. We're feeling very privileged to be able to be standing here to talk about your wedding on a Friday night, the night of the Chassan and the Kala. And it's also pretty amazing because as I'm looking at your face right now, you look a lot more like your father, an older man, than the young guy that I basically grew up with here at TI. We're incredibly proud of the both of you, and we have formal words to say, but we just want to speak for a moment from our hearts to remind you that you are both a blessing to each other, to your families, and to this community. We are here to nurture you. You are here to nurture each other. May you grow in good health. May you be given strength, patience, and most importantly, love throughout all of your days.
Many of you may actually know Andy and Julia's story because it was all over the Jewish Light. Everyone wanted to hear about it. And so we should tell you, Mike, that Andy and Julia, if you didn't happen to read their story, they met here at the DECC. And they are one of these couples who not only do we have all of these stories, and mainly about Andy, but Julia, that just means you've got to do some crazy things in the next few years to make up for it. But also the two of your families are families who we've known from TI and through the community. And there are so many different stories that we could share about your past and about the ways that our families have intersected over the years. But the truth is that what happens next in the next weeks, it's not about past. It's all about just the two of you and what you are building together. And we can't wait to see what the future brings for you. So what we wanted to do, since we don't get to share your wedding day with you, what we wanted to do is give you our little twist on the Sheva Brachot. The Sheva Brachot are the 7 blessings that you say under the chuppah, but it's also a tradition to be able to say them in sort of the days and week following the weddings, so we thought we could do things a little bit backwards and share them here. So the first blessing is for love. May you be blessed with love. May your admiration, appreciation, and understanding of each other foster a love that is passionate, tranquil, and real. May this love between you be strong and enduring and bring peace into your lives.
A loving home. May you be blessed with a loving home filled with warmth, humor, and compassion. May you create a family together that honors traditions, old and new. May you teach your children to have equal respect for themselves and others and instill in them the value and learning, tikkun olam, that of making the world a better place.
May you be best friends and work together to build a relationship of substance and quality. May your senses of humor and playful spirit continue to enliven your relationship. May you respect each other's individual personalities and perspectives and give each other room to grow in fulfilling your dreams.
May you be blessed with wisdom. May you continually learn from one another and from the world. Together, may you grow, deepening your knowledge and understanding of each other and of your journey through life.
May you be blessed with health. May life bring you wholeness of mind, body, and spirit. May you keep each other well-balanced and grounded and live long that you may share many happy years together.
May your life be blessed with the art and beauty of this world. May your creative aspirations and experiences find expression, inspire you, and bring you joy and fulfillment. May you find happiness together in adventures big and small, something to celebrate each day of your lives together.
And may you be blessed with community. May you always be blessed with the awareness that you are an essential part of a circle of family and friends. May there always be within this group love, trust, support, and laughter. May there be many future occasions for rejoicing in your company. So we hope that those future occasions we will be able to celebrate with you again and again. And in advance, we're just going to wish you mazel tov. Weird.
This is a match.
It's an emotional night here at Temple Israel. So we'll ask you now, if you will, to please rise, and we're going to turn towards the conclusion of our service on page 282. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. On 287 ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו So though we have been celebrating so much joy tonight, we also know that there are those in our community and those dear ones watching from home who are here because they are honoring a loss. And so we recall with love the names of those taken from us in recent days, and our hearts go out to their families in sympathy as we recall their names: Rachel Wigdorf-Flusser and Steve Schmidt. And we now recall the names of those, the anniversary of whose death occurs on this Shabbat, and whose names have been inscribed in the archives of our congregation or on the Wall of Honor for perpetual memorial: Paul Ehrenberg, Louis Aaron Sidney, Sidney Bear Jr., Lester Beldner, Ann Bender, Joseph Berger, Horatio Jackson Bernard, Neil Norland Bernstein, Isidore Bistro, Lotta Brand, Deborah Berg, David Kotler, Gladys Frank Cutter, Edward A. Dubinsky, Myra Friedman Dubinsky, Dr. Joseph Ephron, Goldie Bear Freund, Sidney Fuchs, Joseph Geller, Hilda Shukot Goldberg, Charles Goldman, Gabriel Gabe Gould, Robert J. Honig, Selma Honig, Bessie Miller Jacobs, Hilda Kraus, Rose Kruger, Minerva Leichman, Rebecca Levin, Alfred J. Levy, Matilda Levy, Henry Liebrock, Sigmund Lossis, Saul Ludmerer, Ruth Marglis, Ada Rubin Marmer, Erna Wolf May, Bertha Mendelson, Dr. Jerry Newport, Harry Orchard, Dr. Irving B. Pearlstein, Bernice Poliakoff, Tilly Pollock, Hilda G. Reichman, Jacob Samuel Saladar, Louise Sandler, Louis Silver, Nathan Silverman, Charles Stein, Aaron Tenenbaum, Emil Weil, Marion Weil, and Harry Zimmerman. So with those names and the names we keep in our hearts, we turn together to the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 294.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ba'alma divrach chiroteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudusha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. So before we send you on your way, we want to thank everyone for being here. We also do just want to remind you that the high holidays are just around the corner. No one panic, but there are many different things that you can be engaged in terms of volunteer and learning. So we encourage you to look at your Shabbat worship sheets to find a little more. And because tonight was a night of so many simchas, we hope that before you leave tonight, as you're grabbing your yummy treats on the way out, that you will go up to our bar mitzvah family or to our anniversary couple or to our wedding couple or to Rochelle, and that you will be your amazing welcoming selves and make sure that you wish them a mazel tov and a reminder that we're here to celebrate with them whatever comes next as well. Shabbat shalom. Shalom.